The Champions League is back again, and you know what that means. Matchday 5 predictions. But before I get into these predictions, we have just hit 5,000 subscribers. Woo! Come on! 5,000 subscribers. Woo! Let's go, man. Let's go. Now, it may not seem like a lot, but honestly, for the last 2 years, I've been putting in constant effort to try and give you guys the best, the most entertaining videos I could. And finally, it's starting to pay off as I see you guys are subscribing more frequently and you guys are actually liking the videos. I appreciate you guys so much, and all the support I've been getting this year is mind-blowing. It's fantastic. And to thank you guys, starting on my next Champions League prediction video, I'm going to be doing a $50 giveaway. So stay tuned for that video as I will go over all the instructions on how you can win. But with that being said, in today's video, I'm going to be predicting all the results for the 5th match day in the Champions League. And as always, if you agree with my prediction, remember to leave a comment down below. But if you disagree with my predictions, remember to leave your predictions and I'll be sure to reply to every single comment. And as always, if you want to keep supporting the channel and try and help me hit 10K, hopefully within the next year, remember to subscribe down below. But without further ado, let's get right into these predictions. Starting off with the first prediction, we have Ajax against Benfica. Bro, this is the battle of the trash. I'm sorry, Ajax. I'm sorry, Benfica. Two historic clubs, but this season in 2025-2026, y'all are trash. 35th place against 36th place. Both of these teams still have not gotten a single point. So at least after this game, one of them or both of them will at least get some points on the board. But honestly, this is just embarrassing for both of these teams. Benfica with a -6 goal difference, and Ajax only scored 1 goal and they've conceded 14. -13 goal difference is crazy. With that being said, both of these teams are pretty garbage at the moment, so I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. Moving on to the next game, we have Galatasaray against Union Saint-Gilloise. Union started off this Champions League campaign very well as they did win their first game against PSV, but so far since then, they have not looked good and they've lost their last 3 games in a row. Coming up against Galatasaray, I don't see any way that Union get a result from this game. Galatasaray have been in great form. Victor Osimhen is scoring goal after goal after goal for the club. So I think this is going to be a pretty easy game for them. With the home advantage as well, I definitely think Galatasaray will win this game 3-1. Moving on to the next game, we have Bodo Glimt against Juventus. Man, Juventus have been in rough shape recently. Obviously, they sacked their manager Tudor and then they hired Spalletti. But even with Spalletti, they don't really look any better. And in their last 12 matches played in all competitions, they've only won 2 matches. They are on horrible form. And with that being said, Bodo Glimt are playing at home, and like I said in recent videos, we all know Bodo Glimt at home are a different breed. When they play at home on that artificial grass, no one's beating them. I got Bodo Glimt winning this game 2-1. The next game we got is Borussia Dortmund against Villarreal. Honestly, Borussia Dortmund have been very inconsistent with their results so far in this Champions League. But one thing that is consistent is their scoring ability. So far in their first 4 matches, they have scored the 2nd most goals out of any other team in the Champions League. With that being said, Villarreal have been very, very poor in this Champions League. In the La Liga, they had a decent start, but I feel like in recent weeks, they just don't look that good. I'm fully backing Borussia Dortmund in this game. I think they're going to win 2-0. The next game we got is a banger between Chelsea and Barcelona. This is very interesting because both of these teams haven't actually had the greatest start to the Champions League, where in their first 4 games, they've only gotten 7 points, getting 2 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss as well. Now, Chelsea, fair enough. If you look at them in recent years, they haven't been at this top level. But Barcelona, they should be performing better than this. And that defensive lineup is incredibly scary. Bro, every single game I see Barcelona play, I'm always scared they're going to concede goals because that back line does not look convincing at all. And Chelsea are a team that have the attackers, they have the pace, and they could possibly punish Barcelona in this game. But for some reason, I just see Barcelona outscoring Chelsea. So for that reason, I'm going to go with a 3-2 win for Barcelona. Moving on to the next match, we have Manchester City against Leverkusen. I would have liked to see this matchup 2 years ago when Bayer Leverkusen were actually performing well. But this season, they just don't look the same. Now, I will say in recent matches, they have started to look better, but I don't think they stand a chance against Man City. Both Tapsoba and Andrek are going to be suspended in this game, and on top of that, they have a few injuries as well. So I don't see Bayer Leverkusen being able to do anything really in this game. I'm going to predict a 4-1 win for Manchester City. Moving on to the next game, we have Marseille against Newcastle. This is going to be a crazy game because we all know Newcastle's fan base is crazy, but Marseille's fan base is even crazier. Marseille are one of those teams where if they're playing away, it's not a bad game. They're not as good away and you could probably get a result. But if Marseille are playing at home, that's incredibly tough. Honestly, I think Marseille playing at home is very equivalent to Newcastle playing at St. James's Park. It's a fortress. It's so tough to go there and win. And for that reason, I'm going to back Marseille in this game. Obviously, Marseille haven't been the best so far in this Champions League as they've only gotten 1 win from their first 4 matches. When on the other hand, Newcastle have gotten 3 wins from their first 4 matches. So they look much better. But I do think Marseille will be able to beat Newcastle 2-1. Moving on to the next game, we have Slavia Prague against Athletic Club. Honestly, both of these teams have been very disappointing so far in this Champions League, and realistically, I could see it going either way. Athletic Club have been suffering from a few injuries this season, and a lot of their best players are still injured for this game. So for that reason, I'm actually going to back Slavia Prague to get a 1-0 win. And finally, the last match on Tuesday is Napoli against Karabag. This was my worst nightmare. Every single match day, I go on about how good Karabag are, how they upset all the big teams. And with Napoli's form at the moment, sadly, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to win this game. Obviously, my heart tells me that Napoli is going to win, right? 100%. But in my head, I can sadly see Karabag getting a result from this game. Karabag currently sit in 15th place while Napoli sit in 24th. They're just on the edge of that top 24. And if you look at Napoli's team, they are riddled with injuries. Throughout the whole season, we've had injuries to the defenders, the midfielders, the attackers, and it keeps going on, and it is really screwing up our rhythm. So realistically, this game could go either way, but with the home advantage, I have to back Napoli. Even though my head says that Karabag could possibly get a draw to this game, I have to back Napoli in this game. So I'm going to predict them to win this game 2-0. Moving on to the Wednesday fixtures, the first game we got is Copenhagen against Kairat Almaty. Honestly, from the start, I was rooting for Kairat Almaty. I didn't know if they were even going to be able to get a single point, but they actually did get a point in the last match day against Paphos, and they're not in last place. But against Copenhagen with the home advantage, Copenhagen are definitely going to win this game 2-0. The next game we got is Paphos against Monaco. Honestly, Paphos have surprised me so far in this Champions League because at the start, a team from Cyprus, I would have thought would be right down there at the bottom with Kairat Almaty. But so far in their first 4 matches, they've gotten a win and 2 draws, and currently they're even higher on the table than Napoli. But I don't think they're going to be able to beat Monaco. I think Monaco are a much better team than what their position currently tells us. Having gotten only 1 win from their first 4 matches is pretty bad, but we have seen them get a lot of good results this season. Even though Paphos do have the home advantage, I'm going to back Monaco to get a slight 1-0 victory. The next game we got is the craziest matchup in the Champions League Matchday 5 between Arsenal and Bayern Munich. This is a crazy matchup, first against second, arguably the 2 best teams so far in this Champions League, but I do think one team will win, and I think the winner is a very unexpected team. If you look at both of these teams, in my opinion, they're both opposites. Arsenal specialize in defending and their defensive abilities, when Bayern Munich specialize in attacking and have incredible attacking threat. So with that being said, I think this is going to be a very 50-50 game. I don't think it's going to end in a draw. I think either one team will win, but in my opinion, the winner will be Bayern Munich. With Gabriel getting the injury in Brazil's friendly against Senegal, a lot of people have been saying that it's nothing to worry about for Arsenal, but in my opinion, he has been their best defender so far this season. So I think coming up against a top team like Bayern Munich, I do think it will affect them. I'm going to predict Bayern Munich to win this game 2-1. Moving on to the next match, we have Atletico Madrid against Inter Milan. Atletico Madrid have looked very good on the attack with players like Julian Alvarez and a few of the other attackers, while on the other hand, Inter Milan with Martinez, with Thuram, with Boni, they look like they have the best attacking threat in recent years. So I can definitely see multiple goals each in this game. Yes, I think it's going to be a goal fest. But if we look at which team has been better so far in this Champions League, it is 100% Inter Milan. Atletico Madrid didn't really have the best start. And yes, they have gotten a couple okay results, but Inter Milan currently sit in 3rd place. They've won every single game and they have a +10 goal difference. I'm going to predict a 3-2 win for Inter Milan. The next game we got is Frankfurt against Atalanta. Finally, Atalanta have fired Ivan Juric. Bro, I was so sick of this guy getting jobs everywhere he goes and he's always failing. Like, how do teams keep hiring him? He is so shit. He's a horrible manager. But now they have hired their new manager, Palladino, who I think is a pretty decent manager and can definitely get Atalanta back on track. Even though Frankfurt have the home advantage, I'm going to say a 2-1 win for Atalanta. The next game we got is Liverpool against PSV. Honestly, even though Liverpool have been struggling recently in the Champions League, they still look good. Other than that one loss against Galatasaray when Osimhen scored the single goal in that game, other than that, they've looked like a pretty good team. And PSV, yes, I know they beat Napoli. You don't got to tell me about it. But against Liverpool at Anfield, I only see Liverpool winning. I'm going to say that Liverpool win this game 3-1. The next game we got is Olympiacos against Real Madrid. Honestly, Real Madrid have not been that good in this Champions League. And yes, they still sit in the top 10. Yes, they still have a few wins under their belt, but they just don't look that good. Their games are always very, very close. And other than that one game against Kairat Almaty where they scored like 5 goals, they haven't really been that convincing in any of their other games. But Olympiacos are still winless so far in this Champions League. They've gotten 2 draws and 2 losses. And for that reason, I don't see them winning this game. But I do think it's going to be close. I'm going to predict a 1-0 win for Real Madrid. Moving on to the next game, we have PSG against Tottenham. This is a repeat of the UEFA Super Cup game where it actually did end in a 2-2 draw after full time, but PSG did end up beating Tottenham in penalties. And honestly, Tottenham probably should have won that game. They were up 2-0, and if it wasn't for 2 last-minute winners by PSG, Tottenham would have won. But I do think PSG are a better team now. Obviously, we saw at the end of last season and even in the summer in some of the games they played, they didn't look as good. But so far in this Champions League, they look very convincing. We've seen them score 7 goals against Bayer Leverkusen. So I do think they will be able to beat Tottenham. I'm going to say PSG will win this game 2-0. And finally, the last match we have is Sporting against Club Brugge. If you look at the striker Luis Suarez, bro, this guy looks dangerous. Every time he has the ball, I remember when Sporting versus Napoli, he always causes problems. Whether it's his shooting, whether it's his pace, his dribbling, he's a very dangerous striker. With the home advantage, I think this will be a very comfortable win for Sporting. I'm going to say they win this game 3-0. And that is the end of this video. Those were my Matchday 5 predictions in the Champions League phase. Once again, thank you guys so much for 5,000 subscribers. Even though it doesn't seem like that much, it means a lot to me. And if you guys keep enjoying the videos, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more videos.